It's 2 in the morning. Your dog has a perfectly good bed of their own. You bought it, you washed it, you placed it in a warm corner of the room. And yet here they are, circling your mattress, pressing against your leg, settling in with a long exhale like they've finally arrived somewhere safe. Most people assume it's about warmth, maybe habit, maybe their dog is just clingy. And for a long time, that's where the explanation stopped. Warmth and habit. It's a reasonable guess. But here's the problem. Your dog has access to sunny spots, radiators, a couch that's frankly more comfortable than your mattress. If warmth was the whole story, they have options. So why do they keep choosing you? Here's a question almost nobody thinks to ask. What is your dog's brain actually doing when they sleep beside you? Not what it looks like from the outside. What's happening neurologically, chemically, at the level of attachment systems and neurochemical loops that took 15,000 years to build. Because the answer is not what most people expect. The first place to start is attachment, not in the loose, casual sense, in the technical, measurable sense developed by psychologist Mary Ainsworth in the 1970s. Ainsworth designed what's called the strange situation procedure, a controlled lab test that separates an infant from its caregiver, introduces a stranger, and measures the infant's response at each stage. It became the gold standard for classifying attachment: secure, anxious, avoidant. The result tells you whether a child treats their caregiver as a safe base, a fixed point they can return to when the world becomes threatening. Researchers at Eötvös Loránd University in Budapest took that same protocol and applied it to dogs. Same setup. Owner leaves the room. Stranger enters. Owner returns. They ran this with a large sample of adult dogs across multiple sessions, publishing their findings in PLOS 1 in 2014. What they found stopped a lot of people cold. Dogs showed attachment patterns functionally identical to those of human infants. When the owner was present, the dog explored. When the owner left, behavior changed. Less exploration, more vigilance, more distress. When a stranger tried to offer comfort, it didn't work. When the owner returned, the dog settled. 61% of dogs tested were classified as securely attached. That number should land for a second. It's almost exactly the proportion found in human infants in the same test. Your dog isn't sleeping beside you because of warmth. Your dog is sleeping beside you because you are their safe base. Every instinct in your dog's brain, a brain shaped by tens of thousands of years of living alongside humans, is telling them that you are the fixed point, the place the world makes sense from. But here's where it gets more interesting. Because attachment is psychology, what's happening underneath, at the level of chemistry, is something else entirely. In 2015, a team at Azabu University in Japan published a study in the journal Science that changed how researchers think about the dog-human bond. They measured oxytocin levels in 30 dog-owner pairs during a standard interaction. Oxytocin, if you're not familiar with it, is sometimes called the bonding hormone. It's released during physical contact, eye contact, moments of trust. It's the same neurochemical active in the bond between a nursing mother and her infant. Here's what the Azabu team found. When a dog gazes at their owner and the owner gazes back, both the dog's oxytocin levels and the owner's oxytocin levels rise. Not one side of the interaction, both. The dog's gaze triggers a release in the owner, and that release in the owner triggers further gazing and further release in the dog. A self-reinforcing neurochemical loop. Mutual, bidirectional, specific. They tested the same interaction with wolves raised by humans from birth. Wolves that had extensive human contact. Wolves that were, by any reasonable definition, socialized. The loop didn't activate. Not in the wolves and not in the humans interacting with them. This is not about familiarity. This is not about training or habituation or proximity. This is something that emerged specifically between dogs and humans over the course of domestication. No other species triggers this loop in us, and no other species experiences it back. When I first read that result, I went back and checked 3 separate sources. The loop is real. And it isn't just active during the moments when your dog looks at you across a room. It's part of the architecture of the relationship. The reason your dog tracks your movements, returns to you in unfamiliar environments, and wants, specifically, to sleep where you sleep. The oxytocin system in your dog's brain is calibrated to you. Now, the part of this nobody talks about. Gregory Berns is a neuroscientist at Emory University in Atlanta. Starting around 2012, he did something that had never been done before. He trained dogs to lie still inside an fMRI scanner, awake and unrestrained, while their brains were being imaged. This is genuinely difficult. It took months of preparation, positive reinforcement, gradual acclimation. But it worked. What Berns and his team found, published in the journal Learning and Behavior in 2015, among other papers, was that when dogs smelled the scent of their owner, just the scent, nothing else, a specific region of the brain activated, the caudate nucleus, a region deep in the brain associated with anticipation of reward, pleasure, positive expectation. In humans, the caudate nucleus activates when you see a photo of someone you love. In your dog, it activates when they smell your shirt. Your dog's brain treats your scent the way your brain treats a face. Think about what that means when your dog is asleep beside you. They're not just near you. They're in a continuous, low-level state of neurochemical comfort because your scent, your specific, individual scent, is triggering reward anticipation in the caudate nucleus all night long. Sleeping beside you is not neutral for your dog's brain. It's actively, measurably good. Here's the question I kept coming back to when I was researching this. If the dog benefits so clearly, if there's a neurological reason they want to be there, what's actually happening on the human side? A study from the Mayo Clinic, published in 2017 in the journal Mayo Clinic Proceedings, looked at the sleep quality of 40 adults who shared their bedroom with a dog. They used accelerometers, wearable devices, to measure actual sleep movement and disturbance throughout the night. What they found was genuinely strange. Dogs objectively disrupted sleep. Movement, repositioning, the occasional dream kick, the data showed it. And yet the vast majority of participants reported feeling more rested, more secure, and better overall when their dog was in the room. How is that possible? The researchers suggested several mechanisms. Dogs are attuned to environmental sounds in ways humans aren't. Small sounds that might trigger partial arousal in a human don't, because the dog has already assessed and dismissed them. There may also be something at the level of cortisol regulation, the stress hormone, where the presence of a familiar, attached animal keeps baseline cortisol lower through the night. We don't have a complete mechanistic explanation yet, but the effect is there in the data. Your dog's presence may actually be doing something for your sleep architecture, even when it's simultaneously stealing the blanket. Now, one thing worth knowing. If your dog has been sleeping beside you for years, reliably, every night, and one day they stop, don't brush past it. Changes in sleep location are among the earliest behavioral signals of physical discomfort in dogs. Pain from arthritis, joint issues, abdominal tenderness. These can make the movement required to climb onto a bed or press against a human uncomfortable. Behavior is often the first thing that changes when something is wrong, long before other symptoms appear. You don't need to panic, but you should pay attention. The next time you wake up at 3 in the morning with exactly 6 inches of mattress and 80 pounds of dog pressed against your legs, here's what's actually happening. Your dog's caudate nucleus has been responding to your scent for hours. The attachment system, shaped by 15,000 years of coevolution, is treating you as the fixed point of their world. The same neurochemical loop that bonds human infants to their mothers is quietly running between the two of you. And somewhere in your own biology, something is probably running back. Your dog didn't choose the warm spot by the radiator. They didn't choose the couch. They chose you. Every night, on purpose. Sleeping beside you is the safest place in their world, and the science suggests it might be doing something for you too. If this changed how you see your dog, subscribe and drop a comment below. I want to know where your dog sleeps tonight, and whether they've always chosen you, or whether that took time. And if you want to understand why your dog stares at you the way they do, that sustained, almost uncomfortably direct eye contact, that's the next video. The neuroscience behind it is stranger than you'd expect, and it connects directly back to everything we just covered.